I'm Rachel,
I'm Cassandra.
and we are Wattpad Woes. And tonight we are going to be continuing with Black Assassin Wings. Um, we got through chapter 6 last time. A little recap. There was a lot that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're introduced to Ava, who is the main character, the one with the black wings,
Mm-hmm.
and then Eva, who is her sister, and their assassin, Angels.
Yeah, and like black angels are like the rarest of the kind.
Yeah. And,
And
oh, go ahead.
basically it's okay. She just like she got exposed basically to everybody that she was the black angel
Mm-hmm.
that I don't remember the guy's name.
Derek.
Oh yeah, like the love interest, right? So
Mm-hmm.
who's also a werewolf?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like the leader.
Yeah.
And he was looking for a black angel, and then basically the whole time she was right under his nose,
Mm-hmm. She had
masquerading,
infiltrated the pack.
yeah, as
Uh,
like a Omega, right?
mm-hmm.
Which is like the weakest rank
Yeah.
of werewolf. So
Um, so, yeah, so before infiltrating Derek's pack, she had killed another alpha of another pack who had kidnapped a white wolf, which is the good kind of wolf. Uh,
who they are actually friends with, Eva
yeah.
and Ava. I don't remember his name, but
Oh, it was Nick. It was
oh, that's right.
his sister was kidnapped.
Yeah,
Um, and the way that he found out she was there is that he was talking to another wolf from that previous pack who had said that a black winged angel had killed the alpha and that she did exist and that Derek needed her for something.
yeah. We don't know what.
So, I don't know. There was like some romantic tension
Do you remember
between,
why? I
uh,
do.
yeah, because what's her face? I can't remember what her name is, but I remember she was described like Taylor Swift. Um, and I honestly will not be surprised if she has a picture up on this little bar up here of Taylor
Mm-hmm.
Swift for this character. But uh, Derek had decided that even though he and Ava are mates, he is going to stay with Taylor Swift. Because
Her name started with an S.
did it?
Was it Sky?
No.
Well, also, there's another thing too. Didn't Ava find out or say something about her parents, one of her parents being werewolf?
Oh yeah, even though they also said that angels aren't supposed to know anything about their past lives before they were angels.
Right.
But somehow
Right.
she knew that she was half werewolf.
Right.
So
And that's why she
that's
and
why
Derek.
they're mates.
Yeah.
And he's her second chance mate.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, because I don't remember what was it. Liam was her
Yep.
previous mate, who Derek somehow knows. I
Yeah,
think
because
they're the same person,
oh.
or either that, or the reason that he needs Ava is because he's gonna fight or do something with Liam.
Yeah. I mean, he told her like I need to find him and kill him basically.
Did he?
Yeah. I thought so. Because he's the enemy. He said Liam like was the enemy.
I do not remember that at all. I just remember him getting mad when she compared him to Liam.
Yeah.
And then there was that
Maybe it's his brother.
Maybe.
Oh, but so she said that Ava, sorry, the main character, Ava, like, thought that she killed Liam. And then Derek said, no, he's still alive.
Yes.
And that's basically where we left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think you said anything about him being the enemy, but, I mean, we can...
Or insinuated.
Yeah. We can use some context clues there. So, anyway.
Can you hear me munching?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm done. I hit the crumbs.
Okay.
Oh, man. I gotta rinse my fingers real quick.
Okay. Okay. Well, while Cassandra is rinsing her fingers off, rinsing the dust off of her fingers,
I'm back.
I guess I can start. Because didn't you start last time? I can't remember if I started
don't know.
chapter 6 or not.
It's been 2 weeks.
I remember you started the book.
Oh.
Because I read the what's it called? The preview.
Yeah. Well, then that's easy. Just simple math.
So
1, 3, 6. Nope, 5. So you...
Simple math.
Oh, I failed math in high school, so.
So it's your turn to read.
Yeah. Okay. And these chapters don't have, like, special titles or anything, so this is just called Chapter 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can I start?
Yeah.
Okay. I felt something me hard, and I went flying and landed on a boulder. I looked up to see a very angry Eva walking towards me. "What the hell are you doing?" I said angrily, trying to get up. "I know you're planning on leaving us," she said angrily. "How do you know?" I said, surprised. She attempted to smack me with her wing again, but this time I caught it and spun her around until she smacked into a tree.
Jeez.
I'm just picturing, like, a spiraling, like,
yeah,
like, super fast into a tree. The moon goddess gave us another mission. She said, "Locate and destroy Liam." She also said, "Keep you from running away." She screamed at me while she was on the ground. I froze in my spot. What does she mean, destroy Liam? How did she know I was running away? I asked angrily. Eva got up and walked up to me. "Celine knows everything, Ava. You have to get rid of those memories and pull together in this mission," Eva said.
Hold on. Pause really quickly. If Celine knows everything, how did she not know that Liam was still alive? I wonder if they're gonna kill the moon goddess.
Oh, that's a theory.
That would be cool. That would
Let's
be
put that on the shelf.
Fuck. Yeah. Like, they team up with Liam and Derek.
Oh my gosh.
To kill the moon goddess.
Yeah, because in reality, she's the bad one.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, and then the little girl, the redheaded girl, ascends to be the new moon goddess.
Wait, remind me who the redheaded girl is?
Little girl, the baby that she didn't kill in the preview. Or in the prologue.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would tie it up real nicely. Man.
Let's just stop reading and rewrite the end of the book.
Yeah, let's do that. Sorry. We're only on chapter 7 of 32, so we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, this moves fast. I'm wondering what the heck they're going to fill the rest of the chapters with.
Yeah.
Also, this is very short, so I'll just read the whole thing if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. "He marked her," I said coldly. Eva gasped and then grew angry. "He marked someone that isn't his mate? That son of a..." she started to say before I cut her off. "I don't care anymore, Eva. It's over. I have no heart left to love him," I said coldly. Well, then let's see what Alpha Derek needs you for and get this over with, Eva said. I nodded and walked toward the pack house. Ava, are you all right? Natasha walked up to me. That was weird. Natasha walked up to me. Why wouldn't I be? I asked. Yesterday you just seemed so furious, and I cut her off. Where's Derek? I said impatiently. In his office? I walked into the pack house and straight to the second floor. I opened the door to his office and noticed he was sitting there staring out the window. What do you want?
Dude.
He growled. What?
Oh, sorry. I read ahead a little bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Why do you need me? I asked. Alpha Liam plans to start a war, he said impatiently. That tells me nothing, I said. He has been using dark magic and demons. He plans to start with the White Wolf pack and work his way up to my pack. I need you to locate him and help me finish what you couldn't finish, he growled. Don't blame me for this. I plunged a celestial silver sword straight into his chest. I held him close to me for hours while I cried over the only person I ever loved. I spat. Oh yeah? Did I ruin your night the other night when I plunged a silver sword into my stomach while you fucked that whore? I screeched. I heard the sound of silver being rubbed together, and I turned around to see Eva, red-eyed with 2 silver daggers in her hands. I held her back, and she looked at me with anger. Just let me finish him for you. I'll end his life, she said coldly. I shook my head. You'll be ending my life too. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She began to calm down and looked at me with pity. I turned to Derek and looked him in the eyes. I will search for Liam, but it will take a while. Alphas and Lunas are different when tapping into their minds. I turned back around and noticed Eva's eyes glowing gold, with a fear expression on her face. Her eyes appeared back to normal, and her face turned pale. The White Wolves are under attack, she whispered. I grabbed Eva by the wrist and pulled her outside. I put a protective dome around us and turned to her. I can't fly while my wings are molting. Light them up, she said. I turned around and noticed... What does that mean?
Light them up, like shoot them up. Fuck them up.
I turned around and noticed Derek was on the other side of the dome. Why is that misspelled? Watching me. I heard Eva clap her hands. Ouch! And I felt a rush. I smacked my inner thigh. It hurt way more than I thought it would. I heard Eva clap her hands, and I felt a rush of heat all over my body as I hissed in pain. I watched as ash fell all around me, and soon the heat stopped. I ruffled my wings and noticed brand new shiny black feathers. I removed the dome and rocketed up into the sky. Rocket Man. Okay, I'm a stupid ad. Do you get the video ads?
No.
Did you pay?
No. I think it's just because you're on the mobile app.
Oh.
And I'm on the computer, so they can put ads like off to the side.
That's true. All right.
Okay. Okay. Chapter 8. Elizabeth, where is Nicholas? I asked through her mind. I could feel her fear in her mind as I zoomed towards the pack. Ava, there are wolves attacking us. Nikki went to go fight them. I'm scared, I heard her frightened voice. Elizabeth, stay where you are. I am coming, I yelled into her mind.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Chosen one.
I'm coming.
All right. If you know it, you know it. If you don't,
you know.
Sorry.
You had to be there.
Yep.
I zoomed through the sky faster than a jet. That's fast.
I wish Kyle were here.
I was determined to make it to the pack and make sure no one gets hurt. 20 minutes later, I was hovering above the pack. I could plainly see rogues everywhere and the white wolves trying to fight them off. My eyes turned gold as I selected my targets. My bow appeared in my hand as I lit the arrows on fire. One by one, I pulled back flaming arrows and watched as they began hitting rogues. One rogue, I'm getting tired of this word, attacked a white wolf and clamped down on its neck. I whizzed down the pack and crashed down, creating a giant crater.
Like a hick way of saying crater.
And blowing back everyone around me. So it's like, which one of the Marvel superheroes does that?
I think Captain America. Okay. Or Thor. I don't know.
Either one of them. I just thought of a,
yeah.
I don't know. It's one of them. It's one of the Chris's. I stood up and placed a giant force field around the pack territory. The rogue scratched and growled at the dome. I heard a growling behind me, and I looked up to see a rogue wolf trapped in the dome with us while baring its teeth at me. I materialized a knife into my hand and glared at the wolf. Right now, I would be more than happy to end your life, so come at me, I hissed at it. It growled and charged at me. Just as its gray figure jumped in the air, I threw the knife straight into its heart, making it collapse in front of me. So it just, as soon as it got hit by the knife, it stopped midair and fell. That would be funny. A white wolf in front of me began whining as it laid on the ground bleeding out. Lucy, I need you to learn to stay out of danger, I growled as I placed my hand on her wound and pressed down. I felt my eyes grow gold as I pressed harder onto her wound. Moments later, I released and noticed it was all healed. Nicholas ran up to me and engulfed me into a hug. While they're still getting attacked? Hey, Nicky Bear, did you miss me? I giggled as my wings wrapped around him. What the hell? They're in the middle of a fucking battle!
They're in a dome, though.
I thought, okay.
It was just that one rogue that was in the dome.
Oh. I guess I thought there were more.
Yeah.
Jeez. Damn. Oh, damn right I did. Is your mission complete? Where is Eva? How long will this be up? He pointed at the forced field. One question at a time. The mission is a complete failure and has been changed. Eva is still at the pack, and sorry, but it has to be up for a while. Only Eva and I can enter and leave the shield. You guys are in danger, I sighed. I bent down to Lucy and stroked her fur. Lucy, your person is damaged, but I healed your wolf. Huh? It will take some time until your person is healed, so you will have to be your wolf for now, I said sadly. That's another reason why I don't feel like they should be separate entities. Like,
yeah,
they should just
that's
be
dumb.
healed. That's really stupid. No offense, Phoenix 247. She whined and placed her nose in my hand. I know it sucks. I chuckled. I'll read down to this paragraph that starts. I'll go through this paragraph that starts with I heard a few gasps.
Okay.
I turned to Nick and looked up at him. You need to come with me, I said seriously. To where? He asked. Blood Moon Pack, I said. No fucking way, Evangeline, he growled. I pulled a knife out and held it up to his neck and pressed him against the dome. Stop fucking calling me that, or I swear I will slit your throat, I glared at him with gold eyes. I heard a few gasps around me, and I looked. All I saw were gold figures around, so I blinked twice. All around me were the white wolves and Elizabeth staring at me with wide eyes. It's your turn.
Oh. I turned around and noticed Nicholas with his hands up in surrender. I removed the knife and looked down at the ground. It happened again, I said sadly. You found your mate? Nicholas said, shocked. Shut up, I hissed at him. He looked me straight in the eyes and grabbed my hands. Ava, who is it? He whispered to me. I felt a single teardrop slid down my face. Alpha Derek. I knew it. I was pulled into a bone-crushing hug. But I didn't need his affection. I needed Derek's affection. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. His big throbbing affection.
Ew, Rachel. Nicholas began dragging me toward the pack house, ignoring any and all questions. Take Elizabeth to Bethany now, he growled, and he pulled me straight into his now cleaned-up office. He closed the door and engulfed in another hug. Does he love you? You're so beautiful and powerful. I don't understand how he couldn't, Nick whispered into my ear. No, he loves someone else. He blames me for everything and thinks I'm weak. I cried as I rested my head on his shoulder. Why do you need me with you? He asked as he rubbed circles onto my back. We need you to help stop Liam. He let me go and looked at me with horror. What do you mean stop Liam? He's dead. Flashback. I fell to the ground, clutching my face as he stood over me with fury in his eyes. You're spelled wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're so effing weak. Why am I paired with such a shameful person? He screamed as he punched him in my mouth. I looked up at him with fear in my eyes. Not because I was hurt. I healed quickly, but because my mate, the one that was supposed to love and cherish me, was beating me. Liam, please stop. I love you, and you're supposed to love me. I cried in the corner. It's Alpha Liam. It's Alpha Liam, bitch. He growled at me. I cried and cried in the corner. I loved him too much to leave him.
Oh, no!
Baby, are you crying? I buried my head in my arms and just nodded my head. I'm sorry, Evangeline. I never meant to hurt you. Whatever, he whispered as he bent down to my level. He grabbed my chin and raised my head up. He kissed me on my lips passionately, melting any and all hatred and anger I had for him. I hated how he had this effect on me, but I could get enough. End of flashback.
I do not like that.
Yeah. Your turn.
Okay. He's not dead. I don't know how this is possible, but I will find out, I said as I walked toward the door. Ava, I can't go. I have to take care of my pack after this, Nick said sadly. Fine, I said coldly as I slammed the door shut. I walked up to Bethany's room and noticed Elizabeth snuggled with her while Bethany was reading a book. Romeo, oh Romeo, wherefore art thou? Romeo, Bethany said in a fake accent, not accident. Elizabeth giggled and smiled up at Bethany. Bethany was like her second mother, even though she was only 17 years old. She was the mate of James, the beta of the White Wolf Pack. She was a small, blonde-haired girl with freckles. Hello, Bethany, I said as they both looked up. Elizabeth came up to hug me as she jumped into my arms. Hi, Ava. Oh, nice.
Oh. That was weird.
Ellie wouldn't stop talking about how much she missed you. Bethany grinned as her blue eyes twinkled. Guess what, little one? I asked as I looked down at Elizabeth. What? She looked up at me. You're gonna be staying with Eva and I smiled. She squealed and gripped on me twice. Get? Oh! Let me start that over. She squealed and gripped on me tighter. Yay, can we go now? She squealed.
Again.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Of course we can. Let's go say goodbye to Nikki, I said as I waved to Bethany. We walked outside, hand in hand, and I noticed Nick standing in front of the dome. Nicholas, are you all right? I asked. Huh? He placed his hand on the dome and looked around. I rejected her, he whispered. Who? Ava, Alpha Derek is having a fit that you aren't back yet. He wants you back now. This asshole was so confusing. Huh? What is going on? Whose mind is she reading? And who did he read? What? I'm very
Maybe
confused.
Eva? Or Natasha? Yeah, that's not clear.
Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not gonna think about it too much. This asshole was so confusing, I don't even know what to do anymore. I let go of Elizabeth and wrapped my arms around Nicholas as I pulled him towards me. We will talk about this when I get back, I said in a serious tone. He looked at me love struck. Why? Who? I am so confused. I loved him so much I wished he was my mate, but I realized the moon goddess is cruel. See, I think she is going to kill the moon. And doesn't want me to find happiness. I love you so much, he whispered to me as he gently placed a kiss on my lips. I love you too, Nikki Bear, I sighed as I let go and grabbed Elizabeth. I grabbed a hold of her right and outstretched my wings and took off as I flew through through the dome.
I looked at the comments on that one part where Nick said that he rejected her, and everybody was like, who?
Oh.
Who?
Okay, I'm glad it's not just us.
No. All right. Chapter 9. I landed as gently as possible on the Pack's territory. How are they? Eva asked as she ran up to us. Right now they are under a enchanted dome, so only you and I can get out. No one was killed and Lucy was injured, I reported. I placed Elizabeth down and kissed her forehead. Your mate is in a frenzy, Eva said. Oh, so it was Eva.
Okay.
And why is that? I rolled my eyes. You just left without an explanation, Eva said. I rolled my eyes. He just confused me so much to the point where I thought I was going crazy. Yeah, that means you're in love. I was so confused and hurt by the moon goddess. She told me she would never hurt me again. What she's doing now is hurting me again. Come on, Elizabeth. I need to speak with someone. I smiled down at Elizabeth as I held her down.
Huh?
You found your mate? Is he as amazing and wonderful as you said a mate should be? She asked. I frowned, not even able to force a smile on myself. I couldn't lie to this innocent child. Yes, her background was dark, but I cared for her, raised her properly. I don't know. She was basically my daughter. We walked into the Pack house hand in hand as we made our way to Derek's office. Ava, I haven't spoken to you in a while. I hope you're okay. Natasha smiled at me as she walked up. I'm fine, Natasha. I'm just busy and upset with the Alpha. I frowned. Her mate came from behind her and wrapped his arms around her waist. My apologies, Ava, for treating you so cruelly, Beta Daniel growled. It seemed like all the men in this pack did nothing but growl.
That's kind of funny.
That is funny. Whatever, I muttered as I began walking up the stairs to Derek's office. I opened the door and didn't bother knocking, Oh, there we go.
Oh.
I opened the door and didn't bother knocking, which I immediately regretted. There stood a half-naked Derek and a fully naked Taylor.
Oh, yeah,
that's her
Taylor
name.
Swift.
Yeah.
So I was kind of right.
Yeah. Taylor was lying on the desk and Derek was leaning over her. I gently backed up and wrapped my wings around Elizabeth to shield her eyes. Mommy! As she squealed as I surprised her. That's weird. Furious, yeah. I picked Elizabeth up and held her close to me as I speed walked out of the house. Apparently, he wasn't in a frenzy, and if he was, he decided to calm himself down with another woman. And I was beyond angry.
Oh, hold on.
Mommy,
wouldn't she have felt it?
Oh, that's true.
I don't know. Maybe since he rejected her, they're not mates anymore. I don't know.
I guess I'll just finish the chapter.
Okay. Wait, there's a lot left.
I mean, there's not that much.
Oh, I guess not.
It's short.
Okay.
Mommy, what's wrong? Elizabeth asked as I collapsed on the ground. Eva ran over and collected Elizabeth. As soon as she was off me, I shot straight into the air. I flew around in circles above the pack as I concentrated hard. Zachary, where are you? I asked as I entered his mind. Just got finished a mission. What? Just
Who's
got finished
Zachary?
a mission, my beloved. I'm confused. Who's Zachary again?
I don't know.
That should be Nick. Who's Zach?
I don't know.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll find out. I read ahead a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So this is a new character. Just got finished a mission, my beloved. I need to be in your arms. You know where to find me, my love. I stopped flying in a circle and opened my eyes. A golden trail appeared in front of me and I quickly followed. Only Zachary can help me right now. I must admit that being an angel doesn't make me perfect. In fact, I think I am the most imperfect person. I have done things that I have been proud of. One of them was cheating on Nicholas.
Oh, I see.
We didn't just break up because I would be gone for months on a mission.
Well,
We
then why
broke up
would she lie about that when she introduced herself?
Yeah. We broke up because of the guilt I was harboring inside of me. Zachary was another angel assassin. I know too well. Yeah, well, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
After I killed Liam, I met Nicholas and fell in love, but of course I was emotionally unstable. I wanted as much love as I could get, and Nicholas just wasn't giving enough, so I seemed it from Zachary. What? There would be nights when I would go out, no seek, for him to please me and tell me he loves me and I would be just fine. But in my heart, I knew what I was doing was wrong. I broke up with Nicholas after a while and told Zachary I couldn't see him again. Until now. I dove down into the treetops and noticed a little cabin glowing bright gold. How romantic.
Mm-hmm.
I blinked twice and floated down in front of the cabin. Oh no. I can't do it. I don't know how to do that.
Do your best.
I'm gonna start coughing.
Do it while you're coughing. That'll make it husky.
Ava. I heard a husky voice behind me. I turned around to see a gorgeous man. Tall, tanned skin,
Mm-hmm.
brown eyes. Taylor Lautner, brown eyes and
Yeah.
dark brown hair. His smile usually sent me melting, but this time it just wasn't. In ranking, he wasn't as high as Eva. He was ranked golden, which is right under. His wings were golden,
Oh.
and I always thought them as beautiful. You're so beautiful, he whispered as he approached me. I blushed and looked down at the ground. He always had this effect on me. Tell me what's wrong. I can sense that something is wrong. He frowned at me as he raised my chin up. I felt a teardrop slid down my face. I don't know what... Stop texting me, Kyle. I don't know what love is anymore, Zachary. Nicholas says he loves me, but never shows me. And the worst part is, I turned my head away from his to hide my tears away from him. That was redundant.
Yeah.
He grabbed my chin again and looked me in my eyes. What's the worst part? That's this is like a terrible movie scene.
It really is.
The moon goddess has given me another mate who doesn't love me or even want me. I don't know what love is anymore. I cried. That wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was that I was in love with too many men. Or at least I loved them.
Oh,
I was
man.
I was just so emotionally confused, but I just buried it all inside and pushed it away. Now I can't hide from it anymore. Ava, I love you so much, and I always wanted to be together. I hated whenever you would leave to go back to the White Wolf and be with him instead of me. I was so happy when you two broke up, but that also came with him. You didn't want to see me anymore, and it left you damaged. And now this, he said sadly. Seems like I have that effect on a lot of men instead of my actual mate, I sadly chuckled.
Oh, boo-hoo.
It seems so, he said as he wrapped his arms and golden wings around me, pulling me into the warmth. I don't want to think about any of this anymore. I just want to think about you and I right now, I admitted. Yes, physically, I was the strongest angle?
You did it!
It's a matter of time. Angel out there. Emotionally, I was the weakest being ever. I didn't know who to love or who to be with, and it was breaking me up. Zachary planted a kiss on my lips and looked me in the eyes. Ava, I want to make you feel better tonight. Will you let me? He asked. I nodded my head and crashed my lips against his. I needed this release.
Oh my god. That really was like a bad, like, teen movie scene.
Yeah.
Ugh. Man. Let's see what this next chapter has in store for us. Chapter 10. Sometimes I feel as though my mortal life was worse than my life now. Maybe I'm making the same mistakes that I did before. I feel as though the moon goddess has given me another chance to redeem myself. Excuse me. And now I'm just messing it all up. Ava, what are you thinking about? Zachary asked. Oh, sorry. Let me put on a voice since you did for him. Ava, what are you thinking about? Zachary asked. He got up from the bed and began walking toward the bathroom. I sighed and turned onto my stomach with my face in the pillow. I felt Zachary walk toward me and rub my bare back. Evangeline, you can talk to me, I heard him say. I flinched so badly when I heard my name that I felt Zachary remove his hand and flip me over. Zachary, stop. You know I hate when people call me that, I hissed at him. He sighed and sat at the edge of the bed. Why does she hate it so much?
I think she explained that, but I don't remember.
I don't know. Ava, I love you so much. And you might not feel the same way, but I'm doing this because I love you. What's he doing? He said seriously. Uh-oh. I watched as his eyes began to glow gold.
Oh.
Zachary, don't you? But he grabbed my head and slammed me down onto the bed with him on top of me. Ugh. With his eyes
That sounds awkward.
Glowing bright gold. Ooh. He held me down as I felt a pain shoot into my head. Oh, I closed my eyes and wished for it all to go away. He was entering my mind. Oh my god. I just have something caught at the back of my throat and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're entering a flashback. I flew as fast as I could, but couldn't stay in the air for long. My feeble wings just wouldn't allow it. My gray and small wings finally gave out as I was spiraling out of the sky. I felt myself touch the ground hard as my bones began to break from the impact and my heart began to shatter for the loss of my mate. I killed Liam. I felt myself fall into a deep sleep. Oh my gosh, she crash landed. What's happening to her? She's healing faster than normal. She was my twin in the mortal world. I woke up with sharp pains in my back. I sat up and screamed as my wings painfully pushed out of my back. Everyone, leave the room now, I heard someone scream. What's happening to her? She's becoming a higher rank. My wings pushed out of my back, ripping my flesh around my back. I felt the bones in my wings and back growing and shifting. How many times can she say back? My eyes turned gold as I imagined different weapons in my mind. I heard gasps and groans coming from around the room. Highest ranking angel. Who is she? She's my twin. How is she gifted with this rank? I heard different voices in my mind. I opened my eyes and everything was gold. I felt something cold and smooth appear in my hand, and as I began launching it around the room every time it returned. I was
A
scared.
boomerang?
I guess. A level up boomerang. That's what you get when you level up. Calm down, my child. I have put you through enough pain. You are the strongest of all my angels, and I wish for everyone to see this. You are my black-winged angel, and you shall lead all of your kind. All mortals will fear you, as they should. Oh. I opened my eyes and looked behind me. Black wings were sprouting out of my back. Okay, so that's the end of that flashback. You can read this next flashback.
Okay. Another flashback. Nicholas, what will happen when you finally find your mate? Will I not matter to you anymore? I screamed. Oh. Will I not matter to you anymore? I screamed as I punched the wall next to me. We had just gotten into another argument, and I felt lost. Ava, please listen. I don't want to talk about this right now. I love you, and that's all that matters. Why can't you just see that? Nicholas said furiously as he paced the bedroom. But you never show me, I cried out. Here we go. He swiftly walked over to me and placed both hands on either side of my face. He looked me deep into my eyes, and all I saw was love and sadness. I know you have been seeing someone else. Oh, these past weeks, I couldn't bear to look at you because you were breaking my heart. Do you love him? He whispered as a single tear slid down his face. I looked away. I couldn't look into his eyes, for they bring me more pain. I cheated on the person who has ever truly loved me, and I am ashamed. I don't know, Nicholas. I'm so confused. I thought ranking up would better me, but I'm still weak like a mortal, I whispered. I'm not mad at you. I just want us to be together. Please don't leave me, Ava. I need you. I gave up everything, Nicholas pleaded. His pleas sent me on edge. I was nearly on the verge of tears. Nicholas, I can't do this anymore. I can't hurt you like this anymore. You need to find your mate and love her like you love me. I'll only hurt you more if I stay, I cried into his shoulder. He nodded his head and looked away from me. Please let me love you one more time before you go, he asked. I nodded and crashed my lips onto his. End of flashback. Oh my gosh. Do you want me to read this one too?
Let's see how long it is. Yeah, well, it's like really close to the end.
Yeah. I mean, you can read it.
Yeah, I'll read it.
All right.
Okay, this is the last flashback. I don't know. It's kind of dumb having all of these flashbacks, like one right after the other. There should be, if they're gonna have like multiple flashbacks, I feel like in the same chapter, there should be like a paragraph separating them that kind of explains like what they're flashing back to and why.
Well, I think it's happening because Zachary has entered her mind.
Right, but like...
And he's like accessing these memories.
Right. But I don't know. I just feel like there should be a break.
I agree.
It just is kind of confusing. Okay, so this is the last flashback. I was laying on... Oh, we've already read this. I was laying on the ground with a very... No, this is a flashback from a previous chapter.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. I was laying on the ground with the very naked Alpha Derek on top of me. I realized this and began to blush. Derek, you're naked, I muttered. He just kept staring deep into my eyes. All of a sudden, he crashed his lips onto mine. His scent overwhelmed me, and sparks flew everywhere inside my body. It was as if my wings had a mind of their own as they wrapped Derek and I into a warm embrace. As our lips locked, I felt his tongue graze my bottom lip. I opened my mouth, giving him access. Our tongues wrestled for dominance, which I have to him in the end. My mind went blank, and I thought about nothing else in the world except him. Suddenly, my words flashed into my mind. He's just like Liam. Liam's face flashed into my mind, and I began to freak out. I pulled away from the kiss and unwrapped my wings. Wouldn't it be funny if there was a flashback inside a flashback?
Yeah.
And Derek looked at me with shock and then got off of me. I'm sorry, I just had no control over my wolf, he muttered. So your human self had nothing to do with that? I spat. I was offended that he blamed it on his wolf. It was as if he didn't want me. I can't love you when I am in love with someone else. You were never there when I needed you, he said as he began to walk off. I felt tears rolling down my face. Liam was my mate, and he rejected me and abused me. I killed him, and he is why I am here, what I am today. I thought the moon goddess was giving me a second chance to let me be happy, but it's just to torture me, I cried. He stopped me and turned back. He's not dead. You didn't succeed in killing him, and it's all your fault, he said before he walked off into the forest. Okay, this is the end of all flashbacks. I screamed and threw Zachary off of me as I sent him flying through a wall. Why would you put me through all that again? I screamed as I rushed on my clothes. I watched as I zipped up my pants as he slowly got up from the floor. Ava, I needed to see what was wrong with you, and it's far worse than what I fear, he said as he rubbed the back of his neck. The silver dagger appeared into my hands, and the rim turned gold as I locked onto my target. Zachary had a special ability that was similar to mine. I could see the present through people's eyes, and he could see people's past memories, even if they... why is she just now explaining this?
Yeah.
Like, we have gathered that he can look into people's memories by these flashbacks. This is unnecessary. Ugh. Ava, please don't do this, Zachary warned as he raised his hands in surrender. There was a hot, searing pain in my stomach and neck. My vision was going in and out, but I was perfectly fine. That could only mean Derek was in trouble. I blinked twice and ran out the house and rocketed up into the sky. I couldn't let another mate of mine die, even if he didn't love me.
Oh my gosh. The top of the next chapter has Promises by Jean Aiko. I don't know how that's how you say it at the top, like a music video.
Let's play a little snippet. Okay, don't want to get copyright claimed.
Yeah.
Even though we're not making any fucking money off of this, but whatever. But whatever. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Chapter 11. Again, I whizzed through the sky, bearing the pain my mate was feeling. I noticed a pair of white wings circling the sky, but they weren't Eva's wings. Oh, who is this? As I approached the wings, I noticed they were attached to a dark-skinned man with low-cut black hair and strong facial features. He had a concerned look on his face as he noticed me approaching. Elijah, what's wrong? Why are you here? I asked as I was close enough to talk to him. He was wearing dark blue jeans and a white t-shirt with rips on the back from his wings. Is that necessary? He bowed and looked me in the eyes. I was told by the moon goddess that you need to be kept under control. I fear something is about to happen. He eyed nervously. Another pain shot throughout my body and I flinched. Elijah, I cannot talk right now. I need to see something done, I said as I whizzed down to the pack house. I crashed down onto the ground and raced into the pack house. I noticed Natasha sitting on the couch with another black-haired pack member. Where's Alfred Eric? I said immediately. The pack hospital. It's like pack as in pack son. I showed you where it is, Ava. Or I could show you where it is, Ava, Natasha suggested. I nodded, and she led me through the territory to a giant building. We walked through the double doors, and I was welcomed by white. Everything was white, including the walls and floors.
Let's see how they fuck up this hospital.
Yeah.
God, every single one of these stories that we have read has had a doctor scene.
Yeah.
Like, just why?
That is a good point. We walked down a hallway, and Natasha opened the door to her left. There sat a shirtless alpha who looks as though he came out of a war. Scratches and bite marks everywhere on his arms, a bite mark on his neck. His lower abdomen was bandaged up heavily. I sighed with relief. He growled as he looked up to see me. Where the fuck were you? Seeing someone else? Was that payback? He growled. Wow, I don't get a thank you for coming back? I rolled my eyes. I don't give a shit. Do you know how much pain I was in? He roared. I felt my blood boiling inside of me. Does he know how much pain I go through every day seeing him with Taylor?
Ugh.
Who the fuck told you that you could bring a filthy shadow walker into my territory? He spat. I forgot all about Elizabeth. Where is she? Yeah, where is
Yeah.
she? Myself considering she is my daughter, I spat back. He stood up from the bed, and I watched his eyes darken. She is not your daughter, he snarled. I walked up to him and pointed a finger into his chest. I will say whatever she is. I have raised her and taken care of her, I hissed. Elizabeth, darling, where are you? I spoke into her mind. I couldn't feel her or see her thoughts. Elizabeth? I concentrated hard and looked through her eyes. Her eyes were drooping. She was looking at the ground and there was blood everywhere. Mommy, it hurts. Baby, what hurts, Lizzie? It hurts really bad. I opened my eyes and followed the golden trail leading out to the forest. At the edge of the forest, I was white wings sticking out from behind a bush. I quickly ran over to it and stepped through it. I was horrified by the sight. Eva was kneeling over Elizabeth, covered in blood, and Elizabeth was lying on the ground, lying in blood, her fangs out in the open and mouth filled with blood. Her clothes were drenched, and I noticed giant bite marks in her neck and arms. Why wouldn't Eva tell her about this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ava, you said a mate was supposed to love you and you only. What? Elizabeth cried as she saw me. I bent down to her level. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? I drowned as I felt a teardrop slid down my cheek. You don't deserve him, Mommy. He was kissing another woman and she wasn't you. He was hurting you and saying mean things about you, so I attacked him. Oh, gosh. She gasped as she kept losing blood. I pressed my hands onto her neck, but I couldn't heal her. I could only heal white wolves.
Okay, hold on. If she's a vampire, why is she bleeding?
That's a good point. I was wondering about that too.
Like, why is she dying right now?
Yeah, she's already dead.
Yeah.
Lizzie, you didn't have to do that. I smiled as more tears began spilling. I did it for you. Promise I'll be all right, please. Lizzie said as tears slid down her face and she grabbed my hand. I nodded my head. Yes, Elizabeth, I promise. The moon goddess will take care of you for me from now on. I love you. Her eyelids began dropping as her grip on my hand began to weak. What? Began to feel weak. I began shaking with sadness. She was leaving me. After all I have done for her, she is leaving me.
Wow, that is extremely selfish.
Holy crap. That is
What
not
the
what
hell?
any normal person would think.
No.
Why am I beginning to not like the main character? Her eyes fully closed and her grip was released. Elizabeth, please don't leave me. Not right now, I cried out. I picked up and walked out with her in my hands into the clearing. I fell on my knees and screamed out in pain. My screams could be heard from miles away. I left her for my own troubles and let her die. I looked up and noticed the sun trying to hide behind the Yeah, okay, seriously. She left a child in a pack house with strangers who she has never met before to go sleep with someone.
Yeah, to get a little...
Yeah.
For like a booty call. Like, what the hell?
What? And we didn't even notice that she just left Elizabeth there.
No.
Because it didn't say anything about it. It was just like, next scene.
Yeah.
I looked up and noticed the sun trying to hide behind the clouds. I spread my wings and slowly flew up into the sky with her delicate body in my hands. I flew past the clouds into the warm sun. I watched as her body slowly began to disintegrate from the rays of sun until it was nothing left but ashes in my arms.
Oh, wow. She didn't even give her a chance to revive. Like, I don't know if vampires would revive, but technically they're not supposed to die from, like, wounds because they're already dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is just unnecessary.
I flew past the clouds. Oh, I already read that part. She attacked him for me. She did it for me. She realized that he was with somebody else and got upset. That means he killed her. My body began to shake with anger as I began thinking about it. Everything in my view turned red. All I saw was red. I screamed up to the heavens for the moon goddess and Alpha Derek for taking my Alpha Derek for taking my child. I want his blood. I don't care if it will kill me. I will kill what he loves the most. Oh,
Oh,
bye bye, Taylor.
see ya, Taylor Swift.
She will
Oh.
have a swift exit.
Nice. Man, I really have no idea where this could be going. We're like getting kind of like a few chapters away from halfway through.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Anyway, chapter 12, we are starting with Eva's point of view. Huh? She wasn't supposed to get attached. She was never supposed to get attached to the child. I told her this the night she took her away. Okay, flashback. I landed gently on the ground of our campsite as I watched Ava stumble and nearly fall. I placed my hands on my hips and frowned at her. What the hell is that thing? I pointed at the child. It's a vampire child. She's about 2 years old and she didn't belong there, she said as she looked down at the child lovingly. I pulled out a dagger and walked over to it as it slept. Ava quickly guarded both her and the child with her giant black wings. Stay the fuck away from her, Ava, she snapped. If you keep the child, then you will get attached, and if something happens to it, then you will lose control. Rule number 1, don't get attached, I scolded. I won't get attached. How many times can you say attached? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to be noisy.
No, it's okay. You didn't say it. You weren't saying anything.
Yeah, I was muted.
Oh, okay.
I'm not now.
Okay. I won't get attached. It's a helpless child, and vampire children grow quickly in a matter of months. So I will abandon her in about 2 months, she said as she brushed the child's red hair from her face. I'll call you Elizabeth, she smiled. The child opened her eyes and smiled up at Ava. I want nothing to do with it, I said coldly as I walked away. Okay, the flashback is over. She got so attached that now she is going to lose control of herself. What's worse is that she is the rare black-winged angel. Evangeline, I was hoping never to see you again. I heard, a voice from behind me. I turned around and noticed Ariel, a gold-winged assassin angel. She was tall and blonde. She wore red lipstick and black eyeshadow. Her clothes were all black, and she was barefoot. She never wore shoes. She always hovered above the ground. We both hated each other, but she loved Evangeline. Oh. I'm just gonna finish this chapter. It's pretty short.
Yeah.
Why are you here? I told you Ava was never leaving me. I rolled my eyes as I stood up from the bloody spot. I'm not here for you. The moon goddess called to me. She's told me there was danger that needs to be controlled, she explained. I brushed off the dirt from my pants and walked out the forest with Ariel hovering behind me. There stood Elijah and Zachary looking at each other with curiosity. What's going on here? Zachary asked as he saw me approach. Why are we all gathered here together? Elijah asked. Did the moon goddess call for you here? I asked them all. They all nodded. I felt a burning sensation in my head as everything began to turn white. I looked up into the sky and all I saw was white. She was speaking to me. My child, Evangeline, is losing control and must be stopped before she kills herself. I have done wrong to her, but it will all be well in the end. Please save her. Okay, yeah, this moon goddess is a total bitch. My white began to fade, and I was brought back to reality. What did she say? Ariel said impatiently. Evangeline is losing control, I said as I looked up into the sky. So what does that mean? Zachary asked. I gulped. We have to stop her before she kills herself. They all gasped. She is a black-winged angel. We don't know the power she wields. We don't even know if the four of us can beat her, Elijah exclaimed. But we have to stop her. I glared at Elijah. Who cares if we stop her? It's not like we can die anyway, but then we don't know of her power. A blood-curdling scream filled my ears. The scream was filled with pain and sadness. I just couldn't bear it. I covered my ears and dropped onto the ground. I opened my eyes and noticed everyone's wings quivered up behind their backs as they rolled around on the ground, covering their ears. Soon, silence filled the air and we all stood up. So she's also a banshee? What the hell was that? Ariel asked as she hovered back onto her feet. Evangeline, Zachary and I said at the same time. I glared at Zachary as he looked away. I knew all about him and Ava. He was messing with her heart, and she didn't deserve that. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like she does deserve that. I don't really...
Yeah, I don't really feel sorry for her right now.
Yeah. He was the reason she broke up with Nicholas and has been alone ever since. He didn't deserve her. Huh?
She is the reason that she broke up with Nicholas.
Yeah. For real. Ava sucks. I looked up into the sky and noticed a figure in the sky looking up into the clouds. What's going on? I heard a roar behind me. I turned around to see a very angry alpha and play toy hanging onto his arm.
Oh.
I rolled my eyes and pointed up into the sky. He squinted up and growled. Why is she up there screaming? He growled. I glared. You know what? She was right. They all growl. That's all they do. I glared at him and pulled out the silver dagger. You killed the only thing she ever cared about, I hissed. He looked unharmed by the dagger in my hand. I didn't kill her. She attacked me and Taylor killed her, he said calmly. Evangeline, I heard someone say behind me. Not, I started to say before I flung forward by a sharp pain in my back. Fuck! I fell forward, cursing. I turned around and noticed a red-eyed Evangeline starting hard at Alpha Derek. Protect the Alpha at all costs. He cannot die, I hissed as I pulled the knife out of my back. Evangeline heard this and outstretched her wings. Slowly she pulled out her celestial silver sword and held it in front of her. I looked around and noticed everyone else ready their weapons. Wait, I said as I held my hands up. You don't have to do this, Ava. I can help you through this, I said as I got up. You wanted nothing to do with her, she said coldly. I told you not to get attached, I snarled. She was a child in need, and you were never there. Now he killed her, and I will kill him, she said as she advanced towards him. Ariel grabbed Ava's wing and spun her around as she smacked into a tree. We just started a war between the angels.
Between 3 of them?
4.
Wait, who's the 4th?
It's Ariel, Elijah, Eva, and Zach.
Oh, I didn't know Zach was there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 2 against 2?
No, it's 3. No, they're all 3 of them. All 4 of them are against Ava.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Okay.
because they all gathered there because the moon goddess said that they had to stop her from killing Derek.
Right.
So it's 4 against 1.
Okay. All right. Chapter 13. Still Eva's point of view. Evangeline got up and threw her sword toward Alpha Derek. It charged in front of him and took the sword in the chest. Elijah took out his celestial silver's axes, and Zachary took out his size? What? And both advanced to her at the same time. Elijah attacked from the air, and Zachary from the ground, but Ava was ready. Oh, excuse me. Her silver bow appeared in her hand, and she launched a bow. You mean an arrow? At Elijah, and it hit him straight in the stomach. Quickly guarded herself with her wings with lightning speed as Zachary zoomed at her. Well, look, if none of them can die, what is the point of fighting each other?
Yeah.
Unless they only aim at the wings, right? Because their wings apparently can't.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I don't know. Every time I read the word zoom.
Yeah.
Do you know about Young Scrolls on YouTube?
No.
Well, this is gonna make me sound like a giant nerd, but they like make songs out of the dialogue for Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim.
Oh my gosh.
And one of the songs is a song by Sheogorath called Zoomin'.
You have to send me this.
So that's all I can think about. I after we're done streaming, I'll look it up and I'll either send it to you or I'll screen share it.
Is that as hilarious as it sounds?
It's actually kind of good. Honestly, the songs kind of slap. Like, I've listened to every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I binged it as soon as I found out what it was. And, like, my favorite, honestly, is Filthy Rich by Saint Jib. So.
What character is he from? Or, I mean, what game?
He's in Morrowind and, he's in the, Dawnguard DLC in Skyrim. Like,
he is?
You can meet him in the Soul Cairn.
Oh. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. I mean, he's not easy to find, so.
Oh.
But there's, like, a quest where you can find, like, pages of his manuscript throughout the Soul Cairn, so.
Okay.
Anyway. That's what every time I see the word zoom or zooming or zoom, I just think about that song.
Oh, I need to listen to that. Okay. Was I reading?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I literally forgot. Okay. Ava, this isn't you, he yelled. He launched a sigh. Okay, if anyone knows what a sigh is, S-A-I, tell me. Yeah, it hurt, but she quickly flipped in the air and clapped her hands as flames shot out of her hands. Zachary dodged it, but was quickly smacked in the face with a silver bow. I'm calling all out. Well, that is horrible. I'm calling all out wolves. She can't keep fighting like this, I heard a growl. I pulled the sword out of my chest and flinched. Don't do it. Ava has powers no one has ever seen. She could wipe out your entire army in a minute, I said as I stood. Knives appeared in my hands, and I began launching them at Evangeline. I stood there launching knives at Ava, as she blocked them. Fought Elijah, Zachary, and Ariel at the same time. She was determined to win. I threw a knife at her face, and she quickly pushed away everybody with her wings, grabbed the knife, spun around, and threw it at me in a matter of seconds. How could she move so fast and know every single move? A light bulb went off in my head. She could hear our thoughts. As soon as I said that, she quickly turned to me and charged at me until she grabbed me and threw me up into the air. I quickly steadied myself and looked down to notice she was being held back by tree roots. What? Oh, I noticed Ariel's eyes glow, and I realized that she could control nature. Eva, are you all right? Zachary asked as he flew up towards me. I'm fine, I'm just dizzy, I answered. I watched as Ava broke free of the roots and quickly grabbed Ariel. She picked up her now flaming sword and chopped off Ariel's golden wings. Ouch. It happened so fast, I didn't know what to do. Zachary grabbed Ava and his eyes began to glow gold. Slowly, Ava's eyes began to droop and she slowly fell to the ground. I flew down to the ground and landed gently as I walked over to a now crying Ariel. She cut them off! She cut them off! Ariel kept repeating. I was shocked. I didn't know it was possible for an angel's wings to be chopped off. What? Her now once beautiful golden wings were now ashes. Elijah picked up Ariel, and Zachary picked up an unconscious Ava. I jogged up to him and looked up at him. She is in a coma. I didn't want to enter her mind before because I was afraid this would happen, but she took it too far. I don't know when she will wake up or what will happen when she wakes, he explained. Do you want to read a little bit?
Yeah, I can. Alpha Derek walked out with Taylor with a split second of concern on his face. What happened? He boomed. She is in a coma and she chopped an angel's wings off. I had to stop her. I didn't know what will happen to you, Zachary said. Why does this concern him? Taylor snapped. 'Cause that's his mate, bitch, I snapped back. I covered my mouth with wide eyes and looked up at Derek. He had anger written across his face. Derek, is this true? Taylor asked. He growled and stomped off into the forest. Bring them in here, a woman said at the pack house doorway. Elijah and Zachary followed, but I began walking toward the forest. Oh, excuse me. As I walked away from everyone's sight, I began shifting. I turned myself into the blonde-haired, green-eye, walking Barbie doll Taylor.
Oh.
Derek? I called out in Taylor's voice. I heard the sound of crying, and I quickly followed. I stopped when I spotted the alpha at the edge of a lake, sitting on the ground with his face in his knees. Jeez. Well, I guess that's possible. It wouldn't be very comfortable. Derek, what's going on? I asked as I sat beside him. He looked up at me with tearful eyes. This was another side of the alpha I didn't want to see. She's my mate, Taylor. I don't know what to do, he said quietly. Do you love her? Oh, hi, Bubba.
Is it Apollo or Hermes?
It's Apollo. He's been away from me for a while. I thought he was mad at me. But I guess not. Okay. She's so strong and powerful, but she's weak emotionally. I don't need someone like that. She was never there for me when I needed her. What? So did he know?
There we go again.
I wonder if he knew, like, of her.
Yeah.
She was never there for me when I needed her, and she was Liam's mate. I don't need him finding out and taking her away. He looked up at me. His eyes darted to my neck, and then he smelled the air. He growled and slammed me on the ground in swift movements. Who are you? He roared. I slowly began to shift to myself, and I saw anger in his face as I finished. Why does she mean so much to you? He asked. Oh.
Ew, that sounded like a hurt.
No, it was just wet. Sorry.
Let me finish the chapter.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay. She was my sister in the mortal world. She had a hard life as a mortal, I said calmly.
How does she know?
That, yep. Doesn't make sense. Angels were never supposed to know about our mortal lives. Oh. But the moon goddess showed me the hardships that Ava and I faced. Mostly Ava. What do you mean she had a hard life? He asked as he got off of me and stood up. She lost her wolf, lost her pack, lost her family, lost her mate. She was kidnapped and tortured, sold to be a prostitute, fell in love with a man who she thought loved her back, and she was killed, I
Oh.
said. Alpha Derek stood there with a blank expression on his face. But I knew he didn't know how to process all of this. He only nodded and walked away. I honestly didn't know what to do about this Alpha. He was just so confusing. I walked back to the pack house and noticed that the same woman was sitting in the living room. Are you looking for the infirmary? She asked as she saw me. I nodded. Come on, she said as she led me outside to a giant all-white building. I'm Natasha, by the way, she said. Evangeline. We walked into a room with a crying Ariel on one side and an unconscious Ava on the other. Zachary was sitting beside her with his eyes glowing golden while holding her head. He's making sure she is well, Elijah answered. I nodded and sat in the empty seat. She is slipping, Zachary answered as his eyes still glowed. What does that mean? Natasha asked. She might not make it, I answered, pale-faced. Yeah, well, there's still like more than half the book to go.
Yeah.
So.
Not very much suspense there. Man, we are still in Eva's point of view in chapter 14.
No.
Oh, Bob, you're being so sweet. If you hear slapping sounds, I'm giving my cat Apollo butt pats. So, okay. Chapter 14. I'm gonna need you to save her, Zachary, I shouted at him. Wow, like as if he can just do that.
Yeah.
He flinched and his eyes flickered from red and back to golden. I felt a warm hand clutch my shoulder. Do not mess with an angel when they are using their abilities. It angers them, Elijah said. Wouldn't she know that already?
I was just going to say that.
I've been with my sister forever. You don't think I know that? I rolled my eyes. Well, I'm just saying that if you keep disturbing him, then my sister is in the fucking hospital in a coma. I don't care about anything except getting her back. I screamed at Elijah. Shut up! I turned around to see Zachary staring at us with red eyes. He focused his attention back to Ava and his eyes turned golden. I huffed and stormed out of the hospital. I walked towards the pack house and walked straight into Alpha Derek's room. I slammed the door open and was face to face with a blonde-haired man being pinned against the wall by Derek. I stood there, not able to say anything, and stared. Get out, Derek growled to the man. He released him, and the man quickly darted out the room. What do you want? Derek growled as he collapsed into his chair. You need to stop being an asshole and respect my sister, I growled at him. Why should I do that? He said, surprised. She's your mate, I screamed. I watched as his eyes darkened and he slammed me against the wall. I know
he seems like he has a habit of doing that.
Yeah, with everybody. I know she's my mate. I know I love her. My soul belongs to her, but my heart doesn't just... But my heart doesn't just. And she feels the same way. When I turned 18, I went through an agonizing shift, and she still was never there. She left me for someone else. He roared.
She left him?
Huh? Okay, well, Eva's surprised too. I stood there with his elbow buried in my neck and a surprised expression on my face. You love her? Oh, that's what she's confused about. God.
Mm-hmm.
I asked quietly. Did you start this chapter or did I?
You did.
Do you want to read a little bit? I can go a couple more paragraphs if you want.
It's up to you.
I'll do 3 more.
Okay.
He looked at me with glossy eyes. I knew Ava was causing him pain, and Ava felt the same way. They both were hurting silently, but no one wanted to admit their love. There was an agonizing scream that filled the air. The scream was filled with pain and suffering.
Well, that's rather obvious.
It was actually filled with joy.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, it was a scream of ecstasy.
Yeah.
Man, what is Zachary up to?
I don't know. Alpha Derek immediately let me go and rushed out of the room. I walked out and walked straight toward the screams. I walked into the hospital and noticed Ava on the bed, golden-eyed, withering around, screaming. I think it's supposed to be writhing.
I hope so.
Okay, it's your turn.
Oh, yeah. Zachary was still clutching her head, but his nose began bleeding and his skin began turning pale. I grabbed Zachary and yanked him off of Ava. Alpha Derek. Every time I read that, Alpha Derek quickly rushed over and began whispering, thinking into her ear, and he stroked her hair. Immediately, she calmed down. She's reliving her memories from a time she became an angel to now. Some memories are painful to her. Zachary flinched. Why were you doing that? I asked, pissed off. I didn't do it.
You okay, bud?
Happening.
Sorry, Hermes was like having this really bad coughing fit. I just wanted to make sure he was okay.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Okay.
I was just playing too hard.
No.
Sorry.
No. Does he have asthma?
I don't know.
Or is that Apollo?
Well, Apollo has herpes. I'm starting to think maybe he gave it to Hermes.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably just need to vacuum more often.
Oh. Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay, I didn't do it. I entered her mind to make sure safe, but instead she began blocking me out. I managed to get a glimpse of her memory, Zachary said as he stood up. I looked over at Ava and noticed her eyes were still open, but were still glowing gold. Will she wake? Derek asked. Not sure. Her brain is scrambled up and is in overload. Right now, it's like it's restarting and trying to collect as much memory as possible. She could never wake, or some memories could be erased, or something's just not right, Zachary explained. How come you know so much? Derek asked. Well, one has to know about the mind if their power involves the mind. Studying and practice. Ava taught me all she knew, Zachary said sadly. I will read to where it says I sighed.
Okay.
Alpha Derek stood up and walked out the room. What's his problem? I heard Ariel ask from across the room. She was laying on her stomach with parts of bone sticking out of her back. Ew, and burn scars. He's just confused, I shrugged. I walked over to her and looked at her with pity. Don't look at me like that, she said with clear disgust in her voice.
I sighed and walked back over to Evangeline and put my hand on her head. Evangeline, just wake up for me, please, I said sadly. Her skin began to feel hot and burns began to appear on her shirt. I lifted up her shirt and noticed burns and scars appearing on her abdomen. Her skin was turning red from heat, but she remained still. What's happening to her? Elijah asked. I'm not sure. I beckoned for Zachary to follow me. We walked out of the hospital and straight toward the pack house. Is there something wrong? Natasha asked as she saw us coming. Where's your alpha? I asked. He is with the Luna in their room. Shall I mind link him? She asked. Yes, I said angrily. I knew what he was doing, and he knew it was wrong, but he's doing it anyway. Natasha stood there gazing into nothing, and minutes later the Alpha was down here. Was he not in the room with them earlier?
He left.
Oh. Zachary pulled out his silver-size, golden-eyed. This son of a bitch was cheating on Ava. She deserves better. No, she really doesn't, Zachary said. What, like someone like you? Yeah, sure. Derek rolled her eyes. My eyes. What? Derek rolled my eyes. What's that supposed to mean? Zachary asked. Pretty boy, I have her wrapped around my finger. I keep her so my wolf will stay calm. Derek smirked.
What?
Okay. Zachary grabbed Derek and swung him out the pack house, creating a hole in the wall with the wrong hole. Zachary! I screamed as I shoved him. He's the one that Ava was talking to me and crying to me.
You didn't read that right.
He's the one that Ava was talking to and came crying to me. He growled. That makes a little bit more sense. We both stepped outside and noticed Derek standing there with dark eyes. You were the one that touched what was mine? Derek growled. Zachary smirked and spun his size in his hand. I think that's some sort of knife.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did her right, too. She's laying in a hospital bed dying, and this is what they're talking about? Man. She really knows how to pick them. Derek roared and began shifting into his black wolf with white fur on his back. Ugh. Zachary, stop. He has white wolf blood in him. Oh, that's why he's got the white patch.
Yeah.
I screamed. But I was too late. Derek already lunged.
Oh, we're almost halfway through.
Man.
Speaking of which, we should probably stop after chapter 16.
Okay.
Unless you want to stop at the end of this chapter.
No, we can go until chapter 16.
Okay.
Or we can get through chapter 16.
Is it 9 o'clock for you, too?
Yeah.
Okay. I always forget if we're on the same time or not when I'm here.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Chapter 15. Still Eva's point of view. Derek lunged. Oh my god. Look at the second paragraph.
Oh my god.
Do you notice anything? Do you notice it? Look at the start of sentence 2, 3, and 4. Or line. You don't see the 3 Z's right in a row?
No.
Alright, I'll read it. Derek lunged at Zachary, but Zachary quickly dodged out of the way. Derek landed on his feet and quickly attacked Zachary from behind. His jaws clamped down on Zachary's leg as he tried to shake him off, just as Zachary raised his side. Do you see it now?
I think the formatting might be different.
Oh. I forgot about that.
It's like, what are you talking about?
No wonder. Yeah, it's like literally those, like the 3 Zacharys are literally right on top of each other in a row in my format. Sorry.
It's okay.
It was equally confusing for anybody following along then too.
Yeah. I'm reading on PC. She is reading on the phone in case nobody knows.
Okay. I'm going to read the last sentence of that paragraph.
Okay.
Again. Just as Zachary raised his sighs, there was a scream throughout the pack that made everyone grab their ears to block it out. Derek's wolf whined as it let go and pawed at its ears. How about you stop fighting and go help my sister? I screamed at Zachary. Evangeline, I can't. Whatever is happening has to happen on its own. I'm officially blocked out of her mind, Zachary said. I angrily walked back to the pack hospital and burst through Ava's room. She stopped screaming, but her nose was bleeding. I grabbed a towel and began cleaning the blood off her face. Eva, she is in pain. I don't know if she can take any more, I heard Ariel say. I looked up and noticed Ariel laying down with a pained expression. How are your wings? I asked, ignoring her. Oh my god, I just thought of something really funny.
What?
What if Ariel said boneless?
That would be really funny.
How are your wings? I asked, ignoring her statement. I know my sister is strong and will get through whatever she's going through. Elijah says they're growing back, but extremely slowly. He doesn't know if I'll still be the same rank or not, he said sadly. The moon goddess is understanding. I'm sure she will let you have your original rank. I smiled. I wasn't so sure about the moon goddess. I know we aren't supposed to doubt her, but she has been putting my sister through hell, and I don't appreciate it. Ava, please come back. I miss your bubbly and serious self, I whispered. Huh? He doesn't love me, she whispered. I looked at her. Everything was still the same. Her eyes glowing golden, pale skin, and she hadn't moved a muscle. What did she say? I heard Zachary and Derek say at the same time. I looked up and noticed them at the door. I'm not sure, I said. He doesn't love me, she said again louder. Who is she talking about? Derek asked. Kill Alpha Liam. Kill Alpha Derek. Die in peace, he said. Everyone grew quiet. We didn't know what she was talking about, but her intentions were bad.
Oh, well, I wonder what she possibly could be talking about. These people are really stupid.
You know, Zachary, please go into her mind and change that. She can't die. She just can't, I pleaded. He nodded and walked up to her. He placed his hands on her head and his eyes began to glow gold. He struggled for a bit and his nose began bleeding. He began to turn pale and he had a pained expression on his face. Finally, he let go and fear spread across his face. Oh no. I removed the wrong memory,
Uh-oh.
He whispered. What memory? I asked. Eva? I heard a voice. I looked down and noticed Ava staring up at me, grinning. Did you miss me? She asked playfully. I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. One moment she was angry, the next moment she was in a hospital bed, and now she's playing with me? Well, aren't you going to say something? She asked seriously. What's wrong with you? I asked. She frowned. It feels like something is missing, but I don't know what. Oh, I bet I know what it is. I grabbed Zachary and pulled him away from Eva. What memory did you remove? I hissed at him. I removed the memory of Elizabeth and Alpha Derek ever being her mate, he whispered.
Is that what you thought it was going to be?
Well, I thought he was going to remove the memory of, like, Derek being an ass or something.
Oh, I thought he would have removed the memory of her becoming an angel.
And
that she wouldn't even remember that she was an angel.
Yeah.
But, I mean, kind of anticlimactic to say that you removed the wrong memory and then 11 lines later tell us what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
I smacked him in the forehead. Good job, dumbass. Now when she remembers, she's going to be pissed, I hissed. She sat up from the bed and stretched her arms as she yawned. When she noticed Zachary, she blushed. Zachary, why are you here? She asked innocently. You can't see me, but I was pretending to tuck a piece of hair behind my ear while I said that. Mission, he muttered. She got up and looked behind her to notice Ariel still laying down. Hey, doll, are you okay? Ariel asked. Even after getting her wings chopped off, she still loves Ava. Shouldn't I be asking you that? Ava asked curiously. It's okay. You only just chopped off my wings while you were practicing. Ariel shrugged. Ava's eyes begin to glow gold as she places her hands on the broken bones. Slowly, the bones begin to grow into golden wings that belong to Ariel. Ariel hopped up and kissed Ava full on the mouth. Thank you so much, she squealed. You're such a lesbian. I rolled my eyes. Ariel grinned at me. Only for your sister.
Yeah, I knew she was gay. Come on.
Elijah, could you please take Ava out? I asked. He nodded and took her hand and led her out of the room. Is everyone in love with my mate? Derek railed. You don't even know the half of it. She just has that charm on people. Yes, she is powerful and gorgeous, but once you get to know her, you see something beautiful, Ariel said. Thought you didn't date girls, I asked. I said I don't fuck girls, but your sister can be an exception, she smirked. What about Nicholas? He'll want to know what happened to her, Zachary said. Why does Alpha Nicholas care? Derek asked. Nicholas rejected his mate just to be with Ava, Zachary said. The room became quiet.
Oof.
Yeah. How do you know this? I asked. He hunted me down and tried to kill me for being with Ava, and I looked into his memory and saw him rejecting his mate. I promised never to say anything. I promised never to say anything or see Ava anymore, he explained. Why are you saying something now? Ariel asked. He shrugged. I already broke the promise by sleeping with her. So then who is his mate?
What?
Oh, what? I asked. Taylor Abrundi, which is a hilarious last name.
It really is.
Derek growled. The bitch who you are sleeping with was Nicholas's mate, I said, shocked.
Okay,
So they're swapping mates now.
I guess. We have to keep reading. We can't just stop there.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't want the water sort puzzle. Stop.
Let me know when it's done.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out how to say this first word.
Me too.
Chapter 16. I mean, she is S female dog. So why can't I call her a bitch? I sparked at Derek. Zachary grabbed my shoulder and shook his head. Don't pick on her just because she is with your sister's mate. You sister stole away her mate not too long ago, he said. I looked up at Alpha Derek with confusion. I went out and searched for her. After I shifted, I ran away from home just to look for my mate. I was 18 and gullible and just wanted to be loved. My parents weren't showering me with affection, so I seeked it from my mate. Instead, I found her. She was at the edge of a cliff crying her eyes out. I approached her to figure out what was wrong, and all she said was he didn't love her, Derek explained. Nicholas, this is a lot of exposition. Mm-hmm. Nicholas fell in love with Ava before he even met Taylor, and when he met her, he just couldn't give up Ava. That's when he found out she was cheated. He gave her quick. Whoa, I think I just had a stroke reading that.
Yeah.
Zachary informed. Now it seemed as though my sister was the one Yeah! She really was. The one causing all the shit. You all make it seem like it's all my sister's fault, I growled. Because it is, Derek growled. It really is. He's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Look, arguing won't solve anything, Zachary explained. But kicking you out will solve everything. You angels cause nothing but havoc, and I want you out, Derek growled. But I thought you were trying to get rid of Liam, Zachary asked. Ava is no help, seeing that she is his ex-mate, and you three are useless, Derek said. Now, wait a minute. We all heard about Liam and how ruthless he was. Before he died, he was the most ruthless alpha in the world. Killed off packs for fun and was merciless. I'm pretty sure you need our help. Ariel placed her hands on her hips. Eva, there is a problem, Elijah said as he walked back into the room with a worried expression on his face. Where is Ava? I asked. He motioned for us to follow him out the room. We all piled out of the hospital and noticed a giant dome in the middle of the territory. Ava was sitting in the middle of the dome, cross-legged and golden-eyed. Excuse me. Eva, your sister's instability is getting out of control, Elijah warned. It's my fault. I went into the wrong memories and removed the wrong ones. Now her brain is trying to make sense of it all, Zachary explained. Derek, what's happening? Taylor came running out. I growled at her, but Zachary put his hand on my shoulder. Derek pulled her in for a hug. She's unstable right now. Did you reject her yet? Taylor asked.
Oh my gosh.
What a dumbass. But, I mean, you know what? She has a good reason to not like her.
Yeah.
You will do no such thing, I hissed at him. He quickly grabbed my arm, spun me around, and pinned me down to the ground with his knee in my back and hands around my throat. I'm tired of you and your friends making me look weak. I will show you who's weak, he growled. He got off me and left me in shock on the ground. Okay. Fighting isn't going to help this at all. Whether you like it or not, we are staying. And Eva, just don't get involved with Ava's mate business. Zachary scowled. But she's my twin sister. I have every right to invoke myself. I think she means involve.
Mm-hmm.
I shouted as I jumped up from the ground. But you didn't accept her when you found her, Ariel smirked. What?
Flashback.
Okay. I watched as the girl began to calm down. I growled. Who was she to come in here and show off her newest and highest ranking? Who the fuck are you? I asked as I approached her in the hospital bed. She looked up at me with fearful eyes. Her eyes showed her innocence and the pain she had endured. My name is Evangeline. I am, or at least was, a gray-winged assassin angel. She spoke quietly. Evangeline, our, not our,
No.
our names are even similar.
I hate that.
What has the moon goddess told you about us being twin sisters? I asked in disgust. I did not want this girl as my sister. She looked weak and fragile. Her tangled black hair. I did not know she had black hair.
Neither.
Covered her pained blue eyes, and it looked as if she would cry any moment. I noticed her eyes were glowing gold as she was staring at me. After a few moments, she blinked twice and looked up at me with tearful eyes. I'm sorry, I don't meet your standards of a sister, she whispered. I stood there astonished. It's hard to achieve the power to read one's mind and manipulate it. The only angel ever to do that was Zachary. How did you do that? I asked her. What? The mind thing. How did you do that? I asked, irritated. It just sort of happened, she whispered. Sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this chapter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Done. I grabbed her by her hair and pulled her out the hospital bed. She was there in my grasp, screaming and kicking. Evangeline, what are you doing? Nicholas yelled as he came in. I walked past him, dragging her until we reached outside. I felt something pull on my legs, and before I knew it, I was pulled to the ground. I watched as she got up from the ground, red-eyed, holding a celestial silver sword in her hands. No more was all she said before she plunged the sword into my chest. Huh? Okay. Flashback over. I frowned at that memory. I guess you're right. Seems like everyone has a hard time accepting her. Derek won't be accepting her at all. She had her chance, and instead she stole my mate from me, Taylor frowned. Is that all you want, revenge? There needs to be punctuation in that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Ava never knew Nicholas found his mate because he never told her, Zachary said angrily. Guess the moon goddess should have saw it coming, she smirked. All four of us pulled out our weapons angrily.
Shing!
Man, I don't know. I mean, I feel like she has every right to be angry. Like,
or at least, like, bitter.
Yeah. I don't know. Everybody in this story is an asshole.
Yeah.
Do not speak of the moon goddess in vain, I said angrily. That's the part that she was mad about. Evangeline? I turned around to see Ava still in the dome, but she was now standing up at the edge of the dome, with hand pressed up against it, staring at me with wide eyes. Evangeline? I asked as I approached the dome. She flinched and her eyes flashed red for a moment. Eva, I can hear you, but I can't see you. Everything is gold and blurry, she panicked. Ava, don't worry. We will figure out a way to get you out, I said calmly.
What?
Okay. Well, that's the end of that chapter. Do you still want to end it here?
I mean, we can read the next one.
Okay.
It's not that long. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't have any time restrictions tonight.
Okay.
I don't have to work tomorrow, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Okay, let's try to make this one the last one.
Okay.
I just want to know what this is going on.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 17. Still Eva's point of view. She banged on the dome with a fearful expression. Eva, please get me out, she said as she banged. She banged. She banged.
That's what I was thinking.
I walked up to the dome and pulled out one of my daggers. I stabbed the dome, but felt an electric current run through my body as Ava screamed and I was thrown backwards. What happened? Ariel asked. Her mind has created a barrier to block out any and all outside distractions. To protect herself? I asked as I rubbed my head. No, to protect us. Who is Elizabeth? Ava screamed out as she held her eyes. No, she held her head with glowing eyes. My face went pale. Was her mind actually trying to figure this out? Who is my mate? She cried out. Why are you just standing there while your mate is in pain? Ariel questioned. Because I am his right mate and not her, Taylor screeched. Shut up, Taylor. If you can't do anything, what makes you think I can? He growled. You're her mate, I yelled. Oh! I just knocked my fork off my plate.
Nice.
He just looked at me and then walked up to the dome. He placed his hand on the dome and her screaming stopped. She slowly stood up and stared at the dome. Evangeline? Derek questioned. She looked up with wide eyes as she slowly began to turn blood red. You killed her, she whispered to Derek. I walked up beside Derek and placed my hand on the dome. What did you say, Ava? I asked, even though I heard her clearly. He killed her, she screamed as she raised her celestial sword. She swung at the dome and banged on it, but it would not break. Why isn't it breaking? I asked. It's like her mind and body are two separate beings right now. Her mind is protecting us by locking the body up in this dome until they both can connect, Zachary said. Ava's wings began retracting out her back. She began attacking the dome with her wings, but nothing happened. She screamed and flame shot out of her mouth as she did so, which shocked me. She's revealing powers she has never used, Elijah said.
So she's leveling up.
Yeah.
She's
So
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I forgot what reference I was going to make. Never mind.
Mm.
She's going Super Saiyan.
Yeah. So then what do we do? I asked. Talk to him about this Liam situation because I haven't heard anything about him. Oh, here we go. Ariel nodded towards Derek. Are you trying to call me a liar? Derek growled.
I ain't
No.
calling you a truther.
No, just wait. There hasn't been a sign of Liam anywhere. Ariel rolls her eyes.
Sorry, did you
You
get that
know,
reference?
yeah, of course I did.
Okay. I didn't know if you watched Drake and Josh or not.
Oh my god, it was one of my favorite shows.
Oh, me too.
We've only been friends for like 13 years or something,
yeah.
and we're just now discovering this.
Well, I guess I just didn't think you watched like Nickelodeon at all.
Yeah, I did. Dude, okay, here's the real test.
Okay.
Ned's Declassified.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah.
I love that show. Air
Me
5.
too. My mom hated it. She did not want me to watch it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I thought that since you didn't like SpongeBob, that you just didn't watch Nickelodeon at all.
Oh, I totally did.
Okay. Well,
that's how I know about Victorious.
Oh my god. Ugh.
And I obviously watched iCarly.
Yeah. Man. We're really dating ourselves now.
Yeah, people are gonna like try to figure out like
I don't know. Drake and Josh was like the best show ever.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Crazy Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway. Ava said there was an attack at the White Wolf Pack. So that could be linked to Liam, I shrugged. So you want to believe that Liam is alive? Ariel asked. Yeah, so I can kick his ass for hurting my sister. He left a permanent scar on her, I said. There was silence. Everyone was staring at me. Oh, wait, that was Eva, not one of the guys. Sorry. You were probably really confused.
Yeah, I was wondering why you were making her sound like Lumpy Space Princess.
Sorry. Finally, Alpha Derek broke the silence. What do you mean a permanent scar? Emotionally? I shook my head. Physically and emotionally. Physically? What a dumbass. He asked. She has the word weak carved into her skin on her lower back.
So she's got a tramp stamp.
Yeah. Which Derek should know by now.
Yeah.
Because they should have gotten together. Because they're mates.
Yeah. Man. These people.
But she shows no one because it still... Well, why would she show anyone that?
Yeah.
Because it still haunts her. Calling her weak sort of sets her off.
Oh, wow. I never would have guessed.
Alpha Derek, she may not have been there for you, but she was pretty much going through a shitty life and never thought of having another mate. The thought of another mate kind of scared her, and you made her nightmare come true, I said. He looked at me with pain in his eyes. He looked over at Ava, who now has a silver axe in her hands trying to smash the dome. Why did she care so much for the girl? He asked. Derek, it doesn't matter. Forget about her. She's far too lost, Taylor pleaded. Derek ignored her, and she stomped into the pack house. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Well, Elizabeth was like a daughter to her. She finally had someone who loves her automatically and never rejected her. In some way, we all have rejected Evangeline and still harbor the guilt inside of us, I explained. Ava was the weakest of us all, and she was just a disgrace to all angels, so we rejected her.
Jeez.
Elijah explained. always wanted to kill her for being the weakest angel to now the most powerful. What? That sentence does not really make
No.
sense, Ariel said with her head down. Until you wanted to do her.
Yeah.
Wow, so you only want to do her now that she's powerful.
Yeah, wow. Gold digger much.
And she is a golden angel.
Oh.
And she repaid all of us. It was 20 against 1, and we all lost. The only thing that calmed her down was Moon Goddess herself, Zachary said. We looked over and noticed Ava staring at us, but her eyes were no longer glowing. They were her normal blue eyes, but this time they were full of tears. She placed her hand on the dome, and with her touch, it went away. She was the only person that ever truly loved me, and I loved her ever since I laid eyes on her. She repaired my broken heart, Ava explained. Oh my god. She turned around and lifted the back of her shirt.
Oh my god!
There in big letters was the word weak. Every letter was capital letters. Still look fresh. This sounds hilarious. I'm sorry.
It really does.
You should draw this.
Oh. Man.
That's really bad.
It really is. I kind of forgot that we had that whole gimmick of like drawing a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
He did that to me one night when he tied me down. I didn't have any strength because he was draining it from me. And he cut down deep until I felt him scraping my bones. Ugh, Ava said. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Oh my gosh. Evangeline, reject you, Derek. Derek rushed over and slapped his hand across Ava's mouth and growled at her. He whispered something in her ear, which made her collapse in his arms and break down crying. Yeah, he probably told her he loved her.
Yeah.
He picked her up bridal style as he stuck her face in the crook of his neck and carried her off to the pack house. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think he whispered to her? I asked. I'm not sure, but it got to her, Ariel shrugged. I noticed beside me that Zachary was frowning. Hey, Zachary, could you come with me? I asked. He followed me as we walked away from the rest of the group. He doesn't deserve her, he frowned. But she deserves you, I snorted. I have done nothing but treat her right, he growled.
Nice guy alert.
Yeah. Even if that was true, there is nothing you can do. She is nothing without her mate, and she won't be able to let go. Once she finds out who Nicholas's mate is, and when he comes back into the picture, then her heart will be a scrambled mess again, I frowned. But there is one person that she can never stop thinking about. The one person she actually wants to see and will be delighted by his presence. The same fucked up bitch that did this to her in the person place. What? In the person place? In the first place. Who still owns her heart and the person who she can never let go of. He said angrily as he began to walk away. And who is that? I said curiously. He turned back to look at me. Alpha Liam.
Say it like that.
It's like an announcer at a wrestling match or something.
What's that Yu-Gi-Oh like?
Oh, yeah.
Liam. Well, I don't know. I feel like that's probably a good, nice little cliffhanger to leave it off on.
Yeah.
So, maybe we'll be back next week. I don't know. This is ending up being like a bi-weekly thing.
Well, next weekend we're going to Houston.
Oh, okay. So you won't be able to leave it all. Okay. Well, whatever. We'll be back when we're back.
But we read a lot.
Yeah, we really did. We made a pretty good dent. We're on chapter 17 now, so we read 10 chapters.
We're on chapter 18.
Or yeah, that's what I meant. We got through 10 chapters. So
yeah. 12. Well, no, 11. Whatever.
I don't know. We can't do basic math as demonstrated at the beginning of the stream.
1, 3, 6.
I mean, if you were counting by multiples of 3,
Yeah.
then you would be correct. But you weren't. So, anyway, I guess we'll leave it there. We'll see you when we see you. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Yep.
Bye, pal.
Bye, pal.